What's going on, guys? Adam Snyder here with Home and Entrepreneur, and in today's video I want to give you 5 tips to be successful during Q4. This is actually a question that I got, it comes off a question that I got earlier this morning on, what do you recommend I do for Q4? It's my first Q4. What should I expect? How many items should I be buying and selling? And all this stuff. And honestly, I can't answer those questions because I don't know exactly where you are. So I'm gonna give you kind of 5, not really basic tips, but 5 tips that are more general tips to get you going. So let's jump into it. Tip number 1 is to hold more inventory. This is something that I did not do when I first started. My very first Q4, I sold out of all my inventory. The reason why that happened is because I didn't know what I was doing. So I didn't listen to the people that were out there saying, you need to buy more than you think is gonna sell because it's all gonna sell. What I did is I bought exactly what I thought was gonna sell. It all sold and then I had nothing. So you need to hold more inventory. If you're buying, let's say this Canon camera battery right here, you think there's gonna be 100 of these that sell throughout the month or throughout Q4, get 150. Get more than you need because you never know. So for me, I would rather have more inventory going into January than to be out of inventory in the middle of December. So hold more inventory, you'll be able to make more money. Tip number 2 is to price your inventory correctly. So there are many different ways to price your inventory. I'm gonna just break it down into 2 different ways right now. The first thing you need to understand is there a lot of competition? Is there 100 other sellers selling that exact same item? If there is, then you need to be very competitive. You need to have your price down closer to, the buy box. Whether it's, lower than the buy box, it's, right at, 1 penny higher, whatever it is. You need to be fairly close to the buy box. The reason I say that is because if there's a lot of sellers, you don't want to have your price, $10 higher than everybody else, because chances are no one's going to buy it. No one's going to see it because there's so many other sellers that have, large quantities. They need to sell out before you start selling yours at a higher price. So that leads me to the next thing is, if you are the only seller or there's only a few sellers on a hot product, list your price higher than everybody else. It could be, $5, $10, even $50 higher. But when there's a hot product and there's nobody selling that product, you can command whatever price you want. So that's where you can make some huge profits from some items that you found at, Walmart, Target, or maybe it's an item that you picked up from a wholesaler. Tip number 3, this is a great little segue, is you need to source doing multiple different methods, okay? Sourcing options, whatever it is, wholesale, private label, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, thrifting, buying liquidation lots, whatever it is. You need to source every different method you possibly can. The reason I say this is because with private label, if you don't have a product picked out or you're selling out your product, if you're in the middle of December, chances are you can't do any more private label selling because the likelihood of your manufacturer over in China or wherever to get your product to you and have it to Amazon before Christmas, it's probably not going to happen. As far as wholesale, maybe you're doing wholesale and you're making a lot of money. Great, that's perfect. No, I'm happy for you with that. But if you sell out your inventory, if the manufacturer or the distributor doesn't have any more inventory in stock to give you, then what do? Do you just call it quits and that's the end of your year? Or do you go do retail arbitrage, do online arbitrage, do some thrifting? I recommend you do everything. This is one of the things I talk about inside my Amazon FBA exclusive membership group. If you want to check that out, the link to that will be in the description box below. It's $11.99 a month and you can cancel that at any time. So what this group does is I talk about multiple different things: wholesale, private label, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, running different businesses at the same time. I talk about all that stuff. And the reason I do that is because I find it's better, instead of go deep right into private label or deep into wholesale, I do private label, wholesale, online arbitrage, and a little bit of retail. So I like to mix it up because that's how I see my business is more consistent. I see steady sales, and also I'm not worried about one method over the other. Tip number 4 is to do merchant fulfilled as well. A lot of people, myself included, only do Amazon FBA. And I love Amazon FBA, and if I could, I would only do Amazon FBA. The reason why I say mix in merchant fulfilled as well is because during Q4, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be items that you find, maybe doing retail arbitrage, you find them, and I could make $50 if this just sold today. What do? Do you send it into Amazon and hope it gets to Amazon's warehouse in time? Hopefully it gets processed. Hopefully it goes live before Christmas? No. sell it during merchant fulfilled and you can still make money. Maybe it's a little bit less, but at least you're getting that sale. So if there are items out there that you find and you think, oh, if I only sold this today, I could make X amount of dollars. Well, sell it today, do merchant fulfilled. A lot of people don't understand that you can do Amazon FBA, but you can mix in merchant fulfilled and still make a great income. The only times I do merchant fulfilled is during Q4, right now, when I know I can make money, sell items quickly, and move on. And tip number 5 to being successful during Q4 is to be very, very careful when it comes to Black Friday sales. I say this because I get this all the time and I've been through it myself. As you see these great deals, incredible deals, okay? Legos are on sale, video games, clothes, shoes, electronics, all this stuff is on sale. And just because it's on sale, where you're at, doesn't mean it's not gonna be on sale where somebody else is at. So with that said, you don't wanna buy hundreds of these items, send it off to Amazon's warehouse, and then there are thousands of other sellers or hundreds of other sellers on that exact same listing. The reason why you don't want to do that is because once that happens, then it just becomes that race to the bottom that everybody dreads and everybody hates. You don't want that to happen. So what I recommend is if you're gonna buy stuff during Black Friday, if you're gonna buy something that's gonna be a sale item, make sure you don't go extremely deep into it. And if you do, make sure you are comfortable with holding out until the maybe mid to end of December or even into January, even February to sell that item, because sometimes people overbuy. They do the race to the bottom, and in order for you to get your asking price, the price that you want, in order for that item to be profitable, you have to wait. The next thing that kind of ties into that is you don't want to go deep into a product that is new. So let's say you've never sold Lego before and you decide, I'm gonna buy hundreds of items of Lego. What could happen is your account might be restricted to selling Lego. If that's the case, you won't be able to sell it. So don't go deep into this stuff. Make sure you scan the item. If you're doing retail arbitrage, make sure you know whether you can or you can't sell that item before you buy it. A lot of people will make this mistake this year, and I guarantee you that will hurt them. So I don't want you to be one of those people. And the last tip that I have for you that doesn't specifically tie into Q4, but kind of does. It's more of like a whole year type thing, is if you have any questions, ask somebody. If you are not sure what's selling, join a Facebook group, join, somebody here on YouTube or wherever, join some type of group, or whether it's paid or free, join that group so you understand what's going on. So somebody with more experience than you can tell you this is what's selling really well right now, or these items are not good, or maybe these items are getting a bunch of counterfeit claims. Something like that. You need to understand all these things, and the more things that you understand, the more stuff that you know going into Q4, the better off you're going to be. And not only is Q4 one of the biggest selling times of the year, but it also is very easy to make some money. Almost everything is gonna sell. Now, I'm not saying everything will sell. Junk on Amazon is still gonna be junk on Amazon. The hot selling products on Amazon are still gonna be hot selling products on Amazon. It's just they're gonna be even hotter. The junk, still gonna be junk. So don't sell any junk. Sell the stuff that you know is gonna sell, it's gonna make you money, and that you are happy with actually listing. So if you guys have any questions on how to make money on Amazon FBA, or just more tips on being successful during Q4, let me know. Put any questions you have in the comment section below. If you have a tip of your own, please put that in the comment section below as well. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next video.